What y'all on here being mean for? Give me your phones right now. As the resident auntie, hand them over because I gotta wrap this up. For the past 5 days, I've watched you all drag this lady. Why?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omaomi aka Petite Diva, and this video is inspired by a story that an influencer shared. Now this influencer shared how she moved to another city, another state because of a guy that was not yet a boyfriend.
I wanted a story time on why I moved to Houston for a man. Oh, I'm embarrassed, kinda, a little bit. It was a learning experience.
Now, this influencer, whose name is Talitha Jane, she is in her early 20s, and she is a beauty and lifestyle influencer who also talks about her Christian journey. Now, in this video, she talked about how she moved to Houston because of a guy that was not even a boyfriend. Now, she said that the experience was very embarrassing, but it was a learning experience for her. She talked about the fact that she met the guy while they were in college. They had like a friendship, and that she saw that she was having feelings for the guy, even though the guy was always like in a relationship. And that when he was in a relationship, she doesn't try to encroach in his relationship. She just sticks to being friends. But whenever he's single, he'll be sending things to her, and that kind of got her in her feelings and made her like him more, I believe. Then she talked about the fact that when he moved to Houston, she thought that he had broken up with his girlfriend, and she later found out that they were an on and off thing. I think when the guy was on the off period, he would be sending some things, and I think she made a video about it and he saw it, and then he now talked to her. They had a conversation about the whole situation, and then I think they cleared the air. Then during that conversation, he said that if she moved to where he is, that they could try to have like a romantic relationship. So he fed into a Delulu mindset. Any which way, she felt like God was telling her to leave her parents' house, to leave the state. So she decided to move to where he was. Now, she said that when she moved, they were not like in a relationship. They were still doing the situationship, but she felt like now that she was in the city, that they were definitely going to move from situationship to relationship, even though they were doing some things that she later on was not comfortable with. Eventually, she realized that she was not really like his girlfriend. She was never his girlfriend. And she also told him that, oh, that she doesn't want to do what she did not want to do before, and that she wants to take a walk with God more seriously. Anyway, our story got a lot of people triggered. There's literally a search term on TikTok that says people dragging Talitha Jane and all the rest. Now, people seem to be outraged that she moved to another city because of a guy. People are outraged because she said that God was telling her to move to his city and the rest. Anyway, a lot of people had things to say about it. People were defending her, people were dragging her. Let's check out what people had to say about her situation and people dragging her for her story.
I'm going to share my personal thoughts about Talitha Jane. Number one, there's nothing wrong for being a young woman that desires a man, a relationship, a marriage, whatever the case may be. And number two, there's nothing negative about how you started your walk with Christ. Whether it's from tragedy, whether you rededicated your life because you may have backslid, however you get to God, it don't even matter to him as long as you get to him and you hear. And I feel like a lot of us on this app, because the content creators and influencers have become so vulnerable with sharing certain parts of their life, that we feel like it's okay to judge them. Like, how are we on here judging a 24, 25-year-old girl who moved to a new city to be with a man, right? We've all done stupid stuff over a man before. Some of us are still doing it. And if that situation brought her back to God, so be it. Praise the Lord. Right? And if she is true about her walk with God and her faith, he will help her, bring the best out of her, reveal things to her, help her get more clarity when it comes to dating and relationships.
I love Talitha, okay? But I think it's foolish to move anywhere for a man. I'm sorry. I like watching her videos. I like seeing her content. She's a beautiful woman. Body's T, beautiful. She's trying to find God, you know, as far as like the narrow path of following Christ. But I'm not going to talk about her much right now, but we're just going to talk about in general. Never make men the center of your life unless it is God and your husband, okay? Those are only two. Not even your son. Your son shouldn't even be the center of your life, because your kids come after your husband, okay? And they're not as much as a priority as God and your husband. So anybody else, for real, like boyfriends, dating, whatever the case, these things are not priorities, okay? You're not supposed to do anything outside of your comfortability or what you can handle, or like doing anything that is like over excessive for potentially maybe getting a man. Like, you shouldn't do that. Like, men are supposed to come to the women. We shouldn't have to move anywhere for a man to pursue us, okay? It's okay to be in a position to be found by a man, like how some women, like, they run their daily errands looking pretty and a man will come up to them, but you're not going out and purposely trying to make somebody be with you. But it's two completely different things, and it is not the best route to move anywhere for a man, even if you know him or not, whatever the case, you got a history with him or not. No, you only move when that man is signing a covenant of marriage with you, and that's the only way you need to be moving. Otherwise, there is no point for a woman to be moving, okay? We do not need to be moving, doing something out of our normal for a man unless it is God and our husband, okay? So ladies, please don't do this. Don't ever do this, because it will not be prosperous for you. Like, it won't. It will not. And if it do last for 20 minutes, it's not going to be prosperous. You're going to be stressed out because you're sitting here doing what men do. That's what men do. Men go out and be in an environment for a woman. Men go out and move to be for a woman, like to find his wife. Like, we shouldn't be doing that as women. That is like, that's the opposite of the roles here, okay?
And about Talitha, she's like 24, right? She's young. And it seems like she was in a situationship for a while, and it caused her to move to be closer to the man, and it didn't work out. And she's trying to remove herself from that situation. It seems like we should be congratulating her on removing herself from something that is obviously toxic, instead of trying to tear her down, because again, she's a young woman. She's trying to find herself and figure out what she wants. And have y'all never been in a situationship before? Y'all know how that can cloud your judgment. I feel like a lot of y'all that follow her, especially those who claim to be Christian women, I feel like y'all should be extending a bit more grace. Y'all saying that her Christianity is a ploy for her to get a man is crazy. She can be a Christian and also want to have love.
Earlier this year, I debated a lot about whether or not I wanted to stay niched down or be known for being a Christian content creator, and this Talitha Jane situation is exactly why. The Christian community all too often forgets what grace and mercy looks like, okay? These Christians on these apps will come for you the second that you make a mistake. And if you're doing it behind a keyboard, I can only imagine what you're doing in your church homes and your actual homes to your friends and family. At some point, I've just decided that I want to make lifestyle content and incorporate God into my lifestyle content, because quite literally, who I am in Christ is my identity.
Okay, I really like Talitha Jane, and I need y'all to give my girl grace, okay? She grew up in a house witnessing black love, healthy black love. She was raised in a home, in a nice home, and her dad is a preacher. Her mom is a vibe. I watch her on YouTube, so therefore I really like Talitha. Y'all need to give my girl grace, because she grew up seeing that, so therefore of course she wants it. Now, I do agree with she may need to descend to men for at least a year and just focus on her, but can we blame the girl? She want what her parents have, and that's common. Now, if you watch her YouTube, she told you that she was moving because of a man. Like she told you, she also said that God said move. I feel like she just tried to force it in Houston because of that man. But she learning, she young. Give her grace. Give her grace. Because Talitha is so unproblematic. Just give her grace.
Unfortunately, doing something crazy for a man and calling it God is simply just a canon event, especially in a society that literally indoctrinates women to believe that they're valuable only when a man chooses them. You cannot sit here and tell me that you have not done something against your normal values, your normal routine, your normal expectations for the sake of a man and then try to chuck it up to God. I just don't believe you. Instead of shaming women, I think we just need to do a better job at reminding women, or really anyone that dates men, that their value has nothing to do with men, period. I have definitely done my fair share of crazy things for the sake of men, really for the sake of companionship. And I'm just thankful that I finally got to a point where I finally no longer value love or companionship more than my own morals and values. And the thing about it is that nobody can get you there but you. Nobody can convince you that you're worthy regardless of whether a man chooses you but you. And I want us to stop acting like we haven't done things for the sake of love that we wouldn't normally do. It may not be the same things, but it was definitely something where you're like, dang, I should not have done that, especially not for no man. One of my mutuals really said it best. The older we get, the more we're gonna see women going against their morals for the sake of men, or really like their previous morals. And I just want y'all to know that it's a canon event. There is no amount of convincing we can do to save people that have already decided that a man is how she's gonna get her salvation. Canon event. I feel like you have to just let people go through what they want to go through. Hopefully one day, Talitha, you, whoever, will be able to see the value outside of men. Once you decenter men, you get more money, you have better friendships, you genuinely just build a genuine love for self. It's not to say you shouldn't desire companionship or love, because those things are important, but learning to be okay, even if it doesn't come from a man, learning to be able to witness the love in your life, especially when it doesn't come from a man, is also really important too.
What y'all on here being mean for? Give me your phones right now. As the resident auntie, hand them over, because I gotta wrap this up. For the past 5 days, I've watched you all drag this lady, Talitha Jane, drag her. Why? And most of the people running their flip-flopping jams are in their 20s. Honey, keep living. If you haven't made a mistake, you will. If they haven't made a fool out of you yet, they will. And if you think they haven't, you're lying to yourself. It's already happened. You haven't went through a breakup. You haven't did something for a man or because of a man. Let me tell you what I did in my 20s for a man. I had children and married him, knowing doggone well I didn't want either. Every major mistake I've ever made in my life was to appease somebody else. Okay? So that shit stopped. Listen to me. You all dragged me last year. When I got on here, September actually, so next month will be a year when my life fell apart. October is when I came on here and told you all about it. I went a whole 30 days without saying anything while my life was crumbling. Still posting, still making you laugh, still doing all the things. Okay? Because it wasn't your concern. It wasn't until I was forced to say something that I had to say something. And when I did, you all still dragged me. And I'm the one that got used. I'm the one that got stolen from. I'm the one that got scammed. You all call me everything but the child of God. Now, I don't know if I would have survived that in my 20s, but in my 40s, I realized I don't know y'all, and y'all don't know me. And I don't owe anything but the truth. If you look at my bio, it said we deal with facts over here. That's it. I got on here and said the table was repoed December 2021. You all got on here and said, how can a table be repoed in October if she got it in November? See, you're not even listening. I only want educated people over here on my page. Do you hear me? So I don't mind losing people, but you all are dragging a girl for her life experience as if you ain't went through nothing. I got a slew of women that can tell you the things that they've been through. This is life. Okay? When we choose to share the most vulnerable parts of ourselves, it is not for you to then use it against us.
Everybody calm down. Calm down, everybody. Talitha is fine, okay? Talitha is fine. Excuse me, y'all. I'm getting my piece together. I'm going to treat myself to a little bit of lobster and biscuits. So, I got to put me a piece on before I leave. Now listen, I done saw y'all videos where y'all talking about, oh, leave Talitha alone. She's young. We've all made mistakes. She's still growing in her spiritual journey and you guys are bullying her. Now listen, all that is true except for the bullying part. No one is bullying. What you see her followers doing are holding her to task because of an illusion she put out, which wasn't the full story. Now, I know you guys are saying she don't have to tell us every little thing that goes on in her life and she didn't have to disclose the information. I don't know. I disagree. Because when you put forth that you're spiritually led, driven by God, and these are why you're making the decisions, but you omit that the incentive for you moving to Houston was that you wanted to be with a man as well, it kind of taints your whole journey and story. And I can see how some of her followers could be slighted, especially those who kind of look up to Talitha in her spiritual journey, because maybe they're also trying to find their way as well. And they're saying, you know what, if she can do this, I can do this too. But she didn't tell us that journey, honey. She was going on there to ride on me. She was gonna ride on me. Here, Talitha, you could have told us, girl. You tell us about all your other dates. What would have been so different about you telling us that you had a man in Houston? Nothing. We know about your dating life. That's part of the reason why we like you. You're very open. You're very transparent. We done heard about good dates, bad dates, breakups, everything. So omitting this just seemed kind of weird to me. Oh, honey, let me pull this tight because this ain't finna fall off and Red Lobster on me. Now, all this can be true at once. God told her to move, but she moved to Houston because she thought the incentive would be the man. So now she can get God and she can get a man at the same time. And then everything will be happy. But that didn't happen. The man ended up being Lucifer. And now she's reaping what she sowed. But it's fine. Like I said, we've all done it. So, Talitha, girl, see? This is why you need to use bobby pins. Don't end up like me.
I don't tell nobody nothing that I would care if the world found out. And I mean, Nathan, if I didn't want nobody knowing that I ate McDonald's 2 days ago, I would not tell a soul. I know it's fucked up, but real is rare, okay? It's very rare to meet people that understand the human aspect of life. It's very rare to meet people that actually will listen to what you're saying and listen closely and not listen just hard to be able to tell your story to somebody else. It's rare. I learned very, very young that if I would be ashamed if anybody found out, if I would feel hurt by people's feedback from whatever I had going on, to just not tell anybody. And I know that that's pretty hard because you could wind up carrying some really heavy shit. But honestly, after hearing the way people talk about others for some of the most smallest normal human shit, it's been the best thing for my peace. Even when I get on here, when I get on this app and I'm sharing something, I promise you I don't give a fat fuck. I'm sharing because I'm free from it. I'm sharing because I don't have shame behind it. I'm sharing because I'm finally in a space with it where I've probably forgiven myself. And that's the part about all of this that really pisses me off, is that y'all act like y'all don't go through that shit too. It's so easy to get on here and critique and talk about what everybody else is doing instead of looking in the mirror and focusing on yourself. That's why I have the conversations I have on here. That's why I try to get my audience to be introspective like I've had to be, to humanize myself, to heal.
All right, I told myself that I wasn't going to talk about this, but you know what? Let's just get into it. So for those of you who don't know, I'm going to recap it real quick. This is Talitha Jane. A lot of her content has always been focused on fashion, creating outfits, getting her hair done, just everything glamorous, makeup. She's great. Recently, there was a shift in her content. She still does everything fashion, but she also decided to put God to the forefront of all her content, and she is now on a self-love journey due to getting her heart broken and also experiencing SA. With that being said, she decided to share a very vulnerable moment on here a few days ago of how she decided on Houston because there was a man there that she was enjoying. It didn't work out. Now she's in the city alone and she's just working on self-love. That video sparked a lot of controversy where everyone's like, you moved to a whole different state for a man. You only, seeking God because you think he's going to bring you a man, and that's just not how it works, and you're changing your whole content and do. Y'all, I'm just making this video to simply say, leave her alone. Let her breathe. She is human. We all make mistakes. We all do dumb things for people who could care less about us, whether it's family, friends, a man, a woman. We've all had those hiccups in life. And honestly, when it comes to her putting God to the forefront, who cares what pushed her towards that? She's there now. She feels way better about herself, which it seems through the videos.
and just let her enjoy just simply being her, loving on herself, loving God publicly, and just let her be human. It is what it is. Let her breathe. Let her learn. Let her grow. It's her journey. If we want to sit back and watch it, let's watch it. If we don't, keep scrolling.
Is Talitha Jane male-centered? Yes. Is Talitha Jane wrong for not telling people that she moved to Houston for a man? No. And I'm going to tell you why. You can be male-centered and that's her business. Like, I'm not here for that, but whatever. But this is the same girl who got on the internet and put blue jeans on, denim jeans on with no underwear, okay? Had a nail tech put wrap around her car. Like, for me, I think she's doing shit for the plot. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. And I think that's totally okay. Like, why is it that there's this weird expectation that everybody has to tell, like, the internet what's going on, like, day to day? Are you guys the FBI? Should you have access to that much information, like, play-by-plays? No, I think it's kind of weird. And could it be that, like, maybe she's at a point now where she can talk about it honestly? Like, is that not some level of relatability and vulnerability? How many of y'all have lied about a man to your friends or family? How many of you have forgiven a man over a girlfriend? Like, be fucking for real. She's not doing anything that's that crazy. But I think for everybody to, like, be all in hooplas about, oh my God, she hid this from us. Like, girl, she told y'all. Y'all would not have known unless she told y'all that she moved there for that man. You would have speculated, but you wouldn't have known. So at the end of the day, maybe give her a little bit of grace. Like, she is living her life on the internet and she chooses to do that. But at the same time, vilifying her for every single mistake she makes, or like finding a reason to get mad about something that minuscule, in my opinion, I think it's a little unfounded. I think it's a little weird. And I think it's like presumptuous to assume that you should know every single step that she takes. Social media is a highlight reel. The quicker you get that, the quicker you'll understand how all of these people work.
Personally, I cannot say that I don't get why people are calling her out. Now, moving to another city for a guy that is not even your boyfriend, talk less of your husband, is crazy. So I understand why people are saying, like, how can you do that? Especially as I don't think she had a concrete plan or a job that she was going there to do. I think she just moved because she felt like God was telling her to leave her state, and then she felt like that was the place that God was telling her to go to. Another reason why people are dragging her is because she has been vocal about her Christian walk, her Christian faith, her Christian journey. And I feel like her saying that God said she should move out of her state, out of her city to another city where a guy was, it's not Christian like. It doesn't represent what God will say. But I feel like she is young, she's allowed to make mistakes. Like she said, it has been a learning experience for her, and her sharing her story can also help some people who were about to make that same mistake. So I cannot really like drag her for making that mistake, because quite a lot of people have done that. I done some stupid things before, and when I think about when I was younger, I would have probably done something as stupid as that if I did not, if Nigeria was not the way it was. I think I would have done something like that. But because I know that going to another city and getting a job might not be easy for me, I probably did not make that kind of stupid mistake. But I know that I did some things that I should not have done. And I was even older than her. I was like 2 or 3 years or 4 years older than her when I was making all those kind of stupid mistakes. So I cannot, in all honesty, be dragging her for what she did, because it's not uncommon. Like I said, it's not uncommon. A lot of people, even those that have dragged her, have done some stupid things because of a guy. So I don't understand why they want to bash her to a level where she might start crying.
This is not.
Or start thinking as if she did something criminal by just moving to a city for a guy that was not even a boyfriend. That's the whole thing that annoys me. Like, don't move to a city, a new city, for a guy that is not even your boyfriend. Like, even if he's your boyfriend, please don't move until you are married. In Nigeria, I would say until you are traditionally married, legally married, and church or Muslim married. Because why? What if things go wrong? So I get why there's a backlash, but I don't think it's that deep that people are going to try and drag her like as if no, she did something criminal. She also talked about the fact that while she was with the guy, she did things that she had originally planned not to do in a relationship, and I quite understand where she's coming from. Like, I did things that I kind of regret, and after analyzing how I felt and all the things that I did and why I did it, I realized a lot of things I did was because I was looking for acceptance. I had low self-esteem. I was just trying to see if I can keep someone. And after growing and experiencing life more, I've decided that there are some things that I did not want to do that I did. And those things that I did not want to do, I'm going to actually stick to it in my next relationship, whether I have one or not. But the fact is that I have decided there are some things that I will not do until I'm married. And I keep on praying that the person that I would date next, I'm praying that that person also has that resolution already before meeting, so that when we meet, the person is already like, oh, this is what I don't want to do, and I'm like, oh, this is what I don't want to do, and that we have already agreed before we met, or at the time we met, that this is what we don't want to do. And I'm praying for that kind of situation, because it will cut out some manipulation and gaslighting that I might receive when I say, oh, I don't want to do this, and this person that, oh, we've been together for this and you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, or do you know how many women would do that? Those kind of talk, I really don't want to have that. So that is why I keep praying that whoever I meet already has that resolution not to do some certain things. That is my own personal resolution. That's my own personal thought. So I kind of understand why she decided to leave the situationship. I kind of understand why she said moving forward she wants to focus more on a relationship with God, and she wants to stick to abstinence before marriage. So I'm not going to beat her down for that. I'm not going to drag her down for that. It's her call, and she has decided that's what she wants. But I don't get why people are really like dragging her, and the backlash is too much for what happened. It's just too extreme, and I'm glad that people are like calling people out and supporting her and just saying that we should give her grace for the mistake that she has made. Is the learning experience for her, and also learning experience for some other people who have not yet made that mistake. So I don't know what you guys think about this whole situation. Do you think that people dragging her for that mistake of moving to a new city for a guy that is not even a boyfriend, for a guy that went back to his ex like twice, even though he was doing things that made her feel like they were in a relationship? I would love to hear your own thoughts about this whole situation. Do you have any similar story to what she shared? Please share it in the comment section, and let's get this discussion popping. Now, if you like videos such as this and you are not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.